How's it going today, guys? And I want to cover something that's one of those weird things men run into, leading the divorce they didn't want. So, what we see very typically is a woman decides she wants a divorce. Man joins our community, mentoring men, works on himself, really levels up, becomes a hell of a great guy. Wife doesn't work on herself or stays kind of rigid in her, I don't want to work on the marriage, I don't want to work on me, it's 100% your fault, which isn't true. And the divorce needs to happen. In fact, I'm not going to throw around all the buzzwords, but let's just say she's high conflict and unpleasant to deal with, kind of a my way or the highway attitude. At a certain point, she gets comfortable being separated or living in the same house, but actually being dismissive, disrespectful. And I'm here to tell you that could go on for years. And the damage it does to both you and your children is more significant than you might imagine. So we often end up having to help men and guide them through leading a divorce they don't want. So when they got hit with the bombshell of I want a divorce, I need space, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, it rocked their whole world. I know I was caught off guard and I did everything wrong. And we see it with men. Well, the woman has built-in babysitting. Life is convenient. And there's a lot of reasons why now's not a good time to divorce. But here's the actual truth. Once you've worked on yourself and you come to the point where she hasn't turned towards you, and it is obvious it's time to divorce, you may have to lead it. You may have to be the one to get the paperwork filed and move it forward. Because if her life is easy, why would she want a divorce when you're paying all the bills? Think about it. So I had a client, wife wanted nothing to do with the marriage, wanted a divorce. He worked on himself, leveled up. He even made the appointment with the attorney for her to go see the attorney, and she didn't do it. You know, this is the same person, again, a very my way or the highway person, that the day she planned to move, instead of hiring movers, she arranged for friends and relatives to come help her, except nobody showed up, which I thought was pretty telling. So in cases like this, you've got to lead the divorce. Now, a lot of times, there's two reasons they drag their feet. They want you to file so they can play the victim. And, well, wouldn't you rather have an easier domestic situation and financial situation as opposed to being a single divorced mom? Okay, so we see a lot of this. And so divorce turns a marriage into a business transaction. And when it's time for the end to come, you may have to lead the divorce you don't want. Doesn't matter if housing's expensive or there's no houses. Sorry, rent an apartment. Oh, it's expensive. Too bad. This is the consequences of divorce. A lot of women often want a divorce, but they don't want the consequences to go with it. And they're not bad people. They just either didn't fully investigate everything before deciding they wanted out, or, don't care. But at the end of the day, you can lovingly and respectfully move the divorce forward that needs to happen, even if you didn't want it initially. Because at a certain point, she doesn't want to be with you, and you respect and love yourself enough to end the relationship. All right, guys? If you're in this situation, first off, condolences. I have been through divorce. It's not easy on anybody. And when there's kids involved, it's even harder. And all I want to say is be kind to yourself, be kind to the kids. And even though it may seem crazy, be kind to her and hold her in unconditional high regard, because she she didn't want this either when you said I do all those years ago. She didn't say I do, and I hope I get divorced someday. Okay? So there's a link below to take a free course, the Failing Marriage Recovery Plan. There's also a link to join Mentoring Men if you want more support, where we'll walk with you along this path, and hopefully, maybe you're like many of the guys who turned it around, but if not, you'll come from a really good, healthy place as you lead the divorce you don't want. All right, brother. Have a great week.